Just what is a gang? It's a group of two or more people with a common identifying sign, symbol, or name that engage in a pattern of criminal activity, creating an atmosphere of fear and intimidation. They're violent and deadly groups that are found everywhere. They deal drugs, carry firearms, commit robbery, assaults, and murder. When a young person joins a gang, their membership can lead to jail or death. Even the initiation process is dangerous.
Hey, nigga, why you fucking with me? Watch head now, watch head, y'all. Watch head.
I said, well, what do I have to do to be a part of the gang? And she said, oh, just beat up somebody. So I said, okay, that sounded very easy since we were so used to fighting.
I've been coming to this part of Florida for about 40 years. I find it very unique and an exciting place to visit, and I'd like to share these ideas and this environment with other folks. One of the advantages of creating an exhibit in a museum is that we can control things that wouldn't be controlled in the wild. In our exhibit, we've tried to compress time. Many of the flowers that we have in the exhibit, actually their blooming times are spread over a longer period of time, but we're showing them as blooming all at the same time. This cave is formed in Eocene limestone about 45 million years ago. It was formed at the bottom of a shallow marine sea, probably very similar to what the Bahamas look like today. Well, all the formations in the cave formed by water. The water is the mechanism by which the cave passage, the space forms.
Mark, where are we? Well, we just passed through the original entry room, Dick. That's where they first discovered this cave system back in 1937. Government surveyor found where a big oak tree had fallen down, and when the roots ripped out of the ground, it exposed the cave system.
When this cave fills with air, then these decorations form, and they're formed by the action of water. It deposits small amounts of calcium carbonate in particular fashions that create the stalactites occur on the ceiling, the stalagmites occur on the floor. When the two grow together, they form a column. It's the dripping water that causes all these decorations to form.
More boats in the easy diving, like in here, and you see a lot of dingalings out here diving. Lots of people diving, chasing all the lobsters all over the place.
They anchor on the coral, and if they can't get lobster out from the coral, I've seen them rip coral up with their anchors, rip sponges out and stuff like that, and just pay no attention to what it's doing to the natural resource out here.
The Marine Patrol checks as many boats as possible with their limited amount of manpower.
Put them overboard. It's just an honest miscount for sure, because we try to be so careful.
This is a possession violation for the over the limit. So technically you're all diving. Everybody should be keeping count of their own particular catch.
Besides looking for violators, the officers must often babysit other boaters lacking in nautical experience.
You can tell we're not tourists.
Oh, man.
If divers aren't checked out on the water, they're not home free yet.
All I know is it's the first time we've ever done it.
Let me explain to you. What's going to happen is if I'm going to go by this ticket, by the date and time of this ticket, I've got no problems with this. We're not going to allow you to keep these lobsters. They're all so undersized.
Why don't you just take them all? I don't really. I'm serious.
No, sir, don't work that.
I kind of lost my taste for lobster.
People from many sides of the controversy share a common goal: protection of the resource.
Meg Lohman is a biologist and director of research and conservation at Selby Botanical Gardens in Sarasota, Florida. She has studied the biodiversity of forest canopies around the world, from the rainforests of Australia to the oak hammocks in Mayaca State Park in Central Florida.
Hey, Eddie, do you know what this thing is?
Spanish moss.
That's right. That's actually another air plant, or bromeliad, and do you know some thousands of little tiny organisms live inside of this? So it's kind of a neat thing when you're thinking about biodiversity.
It's not easy for Meg and her two sons, Eddie and James, to gain their bird's eye view of Florida's diverse oak hammock canopy habitat. Meg's partner, Dr. Phil Whitman, first rigs the climbing ropes with a little help from his trusty slingshot.
Scientists are desperately trying to get into forest canopies to conduct this research before it disappears. In order to conduct canopy research, I guess you can see that it's a little bit challenging from the point of view of equipment. I have a harness on, I have some pieces of hardware that have been adapted for mountaineering gear. These are called Jumars, and with this rope I can climb straight up and down a tree and sample all the biodiversity, which is fantastic. It's only because of this equipment that we've been able to do this type of research, and it's only in the last 5 years that this equipment's been available.